Good morning, obsessed people in obsessed land. We are, what day is it?
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday today, and we are literally having a good old chinwag with an amazing woman. Her name is Carla Simpson. She's hanging out down in New South Wales, and she is a business. It's very interesting because you're actually in some businesses that are that have taken a huge hit. You've also got a side to the business as well, which is really a pivoting story, isn't it? You had that going already. So without too much of an introduction, I'd like to just get to know you because I've never met you before, and let's and just find out about you and what's making you tick and how you're cracking down in New South Wales.
Cracking down in New South Wales. It's a beautiful day here. I just jumped in the ocean earlier. So a little bit about me is I grew up here in like this area, and then I moved overseas for a few years, backpacked the world for about 4 years, came back and didn't really know what to do with myself. So I went into business and I opened up, my first business was Anytime Fitness franchise.
Oh, wow.
In my town of Woy Woy. So had that going for 7 years. Currently we're shut. So that was a bit of a shock to the system.
Just on that, just very quickly, because I suppose that there's lots of people we have lots of different listeners, that are in all different spots and spaces. What's it like being part of a franchise organisation when something like this happens? Are your franchisors taking what's the deal? Is everything okay?
Yeah, look, the franchisee oars, they offer us advice, and they've been very good actually in terms of just helping us stay positive about it as well as writing to our landlords and giving us a little bit of advice of how to go about it. But at the end of the day, each business is our own business. So whilst we're part of a franchise, I still run and own the Woy Woy Club. So it's my responsibility in terms of that business.
Yeah, because that'd be hectic.
I'm very grateful for the head office, and they just have helped us out a little bit, because I guess for no one in these circumstances in whatever business, we didn't foresee this coming. So it's been a bit of a shock, and having to deal with each day knowing or just waiting.
Do you know, there's so many people that I'm speaking to in business, and I'm one of those people actually that had all of my insurances in place, and I'm still trying to go through that process right now. Was your insurance, did it cover you for this, for a pandemic?
No, not completely, no.
No. See, I'm actually and I haven't actually heard from anyone whose insurance actually has covered. I know that there's policies out there that should. I'm just wondering if there's anybody that's out there that was actually covered and struggling, because at the moment we're going through that process, because technically we were covered. So
yeah, I just think I really do think that no one foresees this, and to be such a big hit to every single business, so it's just, I guess, choosing each day to ride the wave. That's how it's part of the journey.
Well, this is it. I mean, you're obviously clearly an entrepreneur, and at the core of every entrepreneur, and this, I suppose, speak about this a lot. This is actually what sorts the men from the boys, or the women from the girls. Yeah. Not to be sexist, don't get in trouble. But it does come down to, because entrepreneurship can be so attractive for so many different reasons, because you get sold the dream of freedom and working your own hours, when in actual fact entrepreneurship is a very, very hard road, and it's a very tough road. And when the bad shit happens and shit hits the fan, it's how you handle that in the moment, in my view, in my humble opinion, determines whether you're an actual entrepreneur or an opportunist.
No, and it definitely has made me think outside the box, but a lot of good things have come from it as well. I also, so one of my businesses is at Anytime Fitness franchise, and that also opened up 5 years ago now. I have a separate business, which is a yoga studio. And so we shut down as well because of the pandemic. But for me, I was never really looking at doing yoga online or anything like that. So it really made me get outside my mind and start to think about how I could do something different and how I could still engage my members. So, now I've just taught yoga online this morning, doing 2 classes a day. So it's allowed me to still have my sense of purpose, getting up every morning and doing that, and my students are still getting it. So I think there's lots of room for, thinking outside the box at times like this as well. What can we do differently?
Completely outside of the box. The box is gone.
That's it. For the moment, the box is gone. So how can we all show up and still, live our purpose, do what we want to do every day, but in a different way?
Well, this is something that you do your podcast on, and I actually think that at the very core of all that is what you talk about, and that is happiness. And how happiness is a choice just as much as anything, because shit can come from the side. Bad things can happen. And in any given moment, you have choice.
For sure.
You've got a very successful podcast, don't you? Talks about that.
Yeah. So I work as normally as well, I work as a speaker and a podcast host on, my main message is that happiness is a conscious choice, and that no matter what's going on in our life, and right now is a perfect example, we can't control what's going on outside. It's outside of our control. But the one thing we can control in our own life is our own mind. So the way that we choose to wake up every day and the choices we make. So I always think, like, to myself, I have two choices. I could be a bit negative, like it's really hard, this is a shit situation, or I can choose to be a bit positive about that, and what can I learn from it, how can I grow, and how can I still show up and be the best person that I can be. And I say to people every day, like, life is hard, life is a journey, but, we wake up every day and we take that time to clean our teeth. Happiness is like that. It's like a habit that we build. So I think it's really about each person identifying what makes them happy. So what makes your soul sing from the inside out, and then making sure that you do a few of those things every day, no matter what's going on, to make sure that you're, still got a little bit of sense of that joy and happiness. Because you might not always feel great. That's life. There are days that are hard, but how can you get the best out of that day and the best out of it?
Well, this is it. And I think it's hard. And I think for a lot of people, I was actually listening to a podcast, not a podcast, it was an interview actually last night with Jess Clare and Tom. I've forgotten his last name, but just literally listening to two people's perspective on adversity and how to treat adversity, because it is hard, Carla. Like for somebody to say, look, be happy or be positive, like when you've got so many bad things happening. I mean, for some people, it's not just the pandemic and the global financial shit that's going on. They've got, the other shit still happens, like cancer, or they've got, other issues and marital problems that were there way before the pandemic. And now they've got all of the extra added stuff. How do you stay happy?
I don't think it's the message of just staying happy. I think it's trying to find little ways in your day that you can bring yourself a little bit of joy. So for me, for example, like each day, I know that for me, no matter what's going on in the day, if I can get an hour out and go sit outside, have a coffee and read a book, that is something that brings me joy. So it's finding little things in each and every day for each of us that could bring us a little bit of joy. Is that for you, writing out, like, no matter what's going on, like this, if you've got cancer, your business is shutting down, can you sit down and just think about 3 things today that you are grateful for? Like, we've still got a roof over our head, most of us. I worked in an orphanage in India last year where these people have nothing, They live less than $2 a day every day of their life. So for me, I always go back to places like that where I think, I know I've seen some hardship, really hardship. So how can I change my perspective about what's going on for me and find the things to be grateful for?
And that's the key word. I think you just dropped it right there. Perspective is everything. Mm-hmm. Perspective is everything. And when you do boil it down and you look at actually what's going on, and I, again, like I said a lot, Australia is one of the best places in the world. And if you're in this space in Australia right now, even going through all this shit,
we're lucky.
You're good.
We've been allowed out of our house to still walk, and a lot of other countries aren't. And that's what I always think. I think it's really about changing our perspective, remembering, like, while we can get so caught up in our own drama, so like, oh my God, my boyfriend and I are fighting, we're living in the house together, and now I've got no job, and blah, 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 which is all, I get it. Like, we all go that. But and I always like to think about myself in my circumstances, and I always just think, each and every one of us is one of 500 billion people on the planet right now.
Yeah.
You know, and our problem isn't really that much of a problem compared to the worldwide, you know, whatever's going on for all these individuals all around the world. So I think sometimes just taking a moment to stop, pause, before you get so huffled and puffled in your own drama, step outside and just become that witness. Like, is this really worth my efforts of just getting so down about it? Like,
again, another key word. I love the key words that you're dropping here: perspective and being a witness, because a lot of it can be so overwhelming to try and grasp something that actually, to me and to you, is very simple. And to me, it just feels like breathing for me. I get the way that you think, but I can also understand how for somebody else it's so overwhelming, because the magnitude of trying to grasp that is hard. And how do you come out of yourself and witness something? And again, it comes down to, I think, gratitude.
I think gratitude's got a big, you know, it's definitely changed my life. I love telling this story in one of my keynotes. I was doing the Kokoda Trail a few years ago. So, you know, in Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
And our porter, he's carrying all our bags, you know. So he's a tiny little guy. He's got 40 kilos on his back of our bags. And our group, we'd already eaten breakfast, but it was getting about lunchtime and everyone was starting to whinge a lot. And he says, I don't get you, Aussies. And I said, what? And he goes, you come to my country, and he goes, and you want to walk. He goes, you actually pay me to take you to walk. And then he goes, and then all you do is you fucking whinge. He said, I walk all day, every day. I have no shoes, and I only get a banana to eat, but isn't it good to be alive?
Yeah.
And that was like, for me, I was just like, wow, you know, when people, every day there's so much to be grateful for. The fact that
because it's so true. There's so many whinges, and it is mad. How was it, by the way?
It's amazing. And I've done Everest Base Camp. I've done some really cool stuff in my life. So I've seen so much, and I've been able to grasp that wider perspective. And I get that some people haven't done that, but that's why I say to people to educate yourself, read books. Like, you know, reading Nelson Mandela's biography gives you a whole perspective of our life right now is hard, yes, for us. But if you take a look back in history, like, people went through the Depression with a lot less than we did, and people went through, you know, living on $2 a day or less. So when we still come back, you always can come back and just think, wow, I've got a roof over my head, or I've got a fridge that's full of food.
So what do you say? Because there's a lot of according against people talking about right now. There's people that will say that type of mentality, when you say to someone, you've got to think about how bad it is for someone else. What would you say to someone that says that that's a disempowerment, that when you're saying to that person that they don't have the right to feel the way that they feel because everything is subjective and relative?
Everyone definitely has the right to feel the way they do, and I'm all for feeling your emotions. So, you know, if you do feel really emotional and you get upset, like, then let it out. There's, you know, because I always say, like, holding on to this stuff just causes us to completely overwhelm, and then one day we break. But I think, like, feel your emotions, but just for me, I just think don't get sucked into it. So how can we find the feeling, and then, you know, where's that feeling coming from? Are we scared about the future, or are we scared about our business? Which is definitely the way I felt when this all first started. Like, I was scared, but acknowledging that I am scared, and then maybe having a chat to someone about that. You know, like, I'm actually a bit scared about my business and where this is going, and just having a chat, talking about it. But then I think there's always still no matter where we are, just doing something for yourself that makes you a little bit joyful and happy. So if you're having issues and you're feeling like that, bring up a friend and have a laugh. Or put on Gavin and Stacey and have a laugh.
Gavin and Stacey, I'm going to do it. I've never seen the fucking show. I'm embarrassed because off camera, for anyone that's watching, quite literally, she's like, oh my God, you're English. I love the show Gavin and Stacey. And I'm like, what? And then apparently Nat's turned around and said, "It's what did you say it was? It's almost what? It's sacrilegious."
Yeah, it's a great show.
So if I'm having a bad day, like or if I feel a bit down in the dumps, you know, I'm human, we all do. I always put on an episode of that because I know that it's going to make me laugh. I know that for sure. So I think having...
Yeah, I mean, and that actually, I mean, what you're saying is quite important because people that are feeling sad and depressed and full of anxiety and drama can gravitate towards those types of movies because a lot of people do use movies, shows, Netflix, YouTube, podcasts, and everything else as downtime or a way to reach out, connect, and not feel so odd. So sometimes you want to gravitate towards the shit so that you don't feel so shit because you're like, oh, there's other people that feel shit, so I'm entitled to feel shit. So it can be a rolling bucket of shit that attracts. So I haven't time to say shit in one sentence.
It's really important as well, like for me, who I speak to. So I know, like, if I'm not feeling the best about today, I'm not going to call that friend because often her drama is always a drama. So I make sure that the people I'm speaking to in my day are people that are going to, you know, inspire me, raise me up, and make me feel like a better person. Because there's nothing worse than feeling your own drama and then having to, you know, if you're not in the mood for it, having to deal with someone else's drama. It's good to be a friend, but I think it's also good to know when you're not in the best position to be that leaning hand on someone else.
Well, I was having a conversation. Well, this is it. And I was actually having it was a Facebook conversation where I said to somebody that it was actually a positive post. We all got the wrong end of the stick. But what I said in the intention was you have to be very careful with who you give a plug to your source.
Oh, totally.
If you've got all these plugs in and people are drawing from you because you are that energetic, attractive, happy, upbeat, vibrational, high vibe person, there's the people that are feeling in a low vibration want to plug into you because it's attractive.
They want some of that,
Right, so they want some of that. And because most of those time, those people, it's like, okay, I want to help you because most people like that, want to help. You end up having too many plugs in. And sometimes those plugs can be really shit people.
Oh, totally. And like if sometimes there's people where I know, like I'm quite selfish about it. Sometimes I'm like, I actually can't call her back today. I just can't deal with it. So because our own self-care comes first. So I can't be the best Carla if I'm not looking after myself. So, you know, it depends on the day, but you make sure that you nourish yourself, you nourish your soul. And then when you're feeling great about yourself and you're in a strong position, then you can go out and help other people.
Well, this is it.
Giving, and allow ourselves to deep down in a dump.
Yeah. I mean, and at the moment, there's so many fucking conspiracy theories going around. It's hard for people to stay happy, and then they've got all this information, and it's what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Well, I don't really, to be fair, I don't really like. This was the first time I haven't had a TV in my house in 2 years, so. I don't really watch the news or anything like that. I don't really get involved in what's going on. Like I know what I need to know, but I choose to only watch what I need to know, and I don't really get involved in any of the other stuff. I sort of spend in my own little, and especially at this time when I was feeling very emotional about the businesses and about the change at the beginning, like it was a shock. So I made sure that I kept in a space of, in my own house, a very bubble. You know, I wasn't going to engage in negativity and doing the things that brought me down to that level because I wanted to make sure that I showed up to be the best person that I could be to get myself through this so that I can guide my staff and get my businesses through this.
Yeah. That's hectic. You would have had to have has everybody stood aside? Are they all on JobKeeper? Is that what's happening for you?
Yeah, so it was a bit scary at the start, but we had to like obviously lay off people. Some of my contractors, like yoga teachers, things like that, they're contractors. So unfortunately, I can't help them out so much. But my full-time employees, the JobKeepers is helping us. And I must say, I'm really grateful for the government because they are helping us and they're trying to keep our businesses alive. And a lot of people are giving him flack and, you know, them flack all the time. And I think, God, I'd hate that job. You can never please everyone. Like,
mate, I'm on the same page as you, and anyone that fucking bangs on about ScoMo, I don't care. In all honesty, it's not a political thing. Do you know this right here? Right? That's what that.
Yes, I totally love that. Just be a good human.
Just be a good human. I don't care if you go for red or blue.
Yeah. And I always say to people, like, I always say this at the end of my yoga classes or a meditation session. I say, just remember how nice it feels when we act from a place of kindness.
Yeah.
We always feel so much better when we're nicer to other people. There's no feeling great in, bashing someone else about, or, everyone's doing the best they can. Really, I think at this stage, we're all trying to.
They are doing the best they can, but then you do get the odd asshole.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And then people
are doing really great at being assholes.
Totally, and that's where my meditation's really helped out, because I just go,
and it does. Yeah. And Carla, this is it. Like, this is, I mean, for me, because previously meditation and yoga and gratitude and intention and all this shit, it was, I say shit, it's not shit, it's just my descriptive term, it's just the way it is. But like, I know that the world for the longest time has viewed it as woo-woo.
Yeah.
And it's really not. It's just about being a good person. And now more than ever, for the first time, you're seeing people just previously were unreachable on so many different levels, just reaching out and becoming human beings.
Well, that's it.
Not brands, not business associates, human beings.
And we are human beings, and we get so busy being human doing. Like, let's get all this shit done all the time. We're so busy. Like, you look, in any town or any city, and everyone's rushing normally.
Yep.
And you forget that we are human beings. It's okay to be present, to be still, to look at someone in the eye and actually take a moment to just be with them instead of thinking about the next thing that you've got to be at. And I actually think this is nice this time, because it's taught so many people this. Families, playing cards at night at home because they can't do anything else, and, talking on the phone to people that, like for myself, I've talked on the phone more in the last 2 weeks than I have in, so long, to people that I don't normally reach out, and we just got a bit more time to really be that human being again.
It's beautiful. I love it. I mean, pre-COVID, I go to so many events, and I don't know what it's like for you, but like go to like networking events or charity fundraisers or bloody any award nights and all the rest of it, and you kind of see people, and you go up to them and you're having an interaction with them, and it's like they're not there. They're not actually present with you in that moment. The energy, and this is the thing that I really am very passionate about, is an energy exchange between two humans, not words. Because I don't know what you're like, but I very rarely listen to people's words. I watch everything else, the peripherals, how they're saying what they're saying, their tonality, the delivery, the energy. I'm watching, and it almost, for me, I'm looking at the vibration. And you've got people,
this is a sad thing with our society. I feel that also we're just so busy. It's become like, how are you going? Hey, how you going? Oh, fuck, I'm so busy. It's like, but we're not that busy. Like, we take away it all, and I don't know. I'm like,
are they busy, or is it just because what they're saying, what they could be saying is, oh no, I'm too busy. No, you're just not important enough.
Yeah, exactly. And it's become like a badge of honor. Like, it's really cool to be heaps busy. I've got heaps of things going on, and people would often say to me, "Oh, Carla, I don't know how you get it done. You've got so much going on. You're so busy." I said, No, I'm not busy. I said, I choose to do the things I choose to do. They were my choices. I chose to open a few businesses. So yeah, my day is very fulfilled. But you know what? I love every single thing that I do.
100%. And you know what? Even with all my busyness and my business and busyness, and with everything else that's going on, if anybody ever reaches out to me, I'm there, and I give them attention, and I give them like literally, I'll put my phone down, I'll put the things down, and I'm looking at them going, what do you need?
Yeah.
Not like, I've just had so many interactions with people that just really don't get that. Like, you're having an interaction with them, stood in front of your face, and you're talking to them, and they're looking around the room at who else is better.
Yeah, totally. And it's coming back to, again, being a good human being in connection, treating other people the way that we want to be treated,
Cool, eh? I'm actually so fucking excited. We copped shit, didn't we, Natalie? We copped a lot of shit, actually, for sharing a video when the COVID thing first happened. We were really happy, and we copped so much shit for sharing a video about being happy and actually looking for, and I could see so much great opportunity, not for me to make money, but where my skill and my superpower, I'm like, this is my jam. I can help people. If there's something in this fucking world I can do, I can help. Let me help. That was my opportunity, and this woman just couldn't see it. She wanted me to be sad with everybody else and said, there's people losing jobs, and I'm like, I get that, but like I need to be able to be in this state to be able to help. It's no good me panicking down with the rest of them,
No, and we've got two choices. We either choose to stroll down with it and be like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's happened. And yeah, it's really bad. But what's that going to that mentality, what's that going to help us do? But instead, I stand in a position, I say, okay, so this is a pretty shit situation, yes. But how can I grow? How can I get my businesses ready to open again when we can? And how can we do it better than we did before? This is an opportunity to do it all again, but even better. So what can I do this time?
You've got. Sorry, I'm not going to. I just want to put people in the picture because you've actually got, just for anybody that's joined us, but you've got a gym. So it's an Anytime Fitness gym.
Yeah,
clearly isn't franchise. So that's clearly not working at the moment. You've also got the podcast, and because you've got 3 different businesses, did you say?
So my yoga school is the second, and then my third would be my speaking. Professional speaking and podcasting and stuff. The podcast is still going, but at the moment we're not speaking either. So all the events I was booked for later this year have all been cancelled at the moment.
So are you still doing it though? Are you still giving your gifts? Are you still out there recording? Are you still sharing as much as you possibly can?
Yeah. All online. That's what I mean. I've learned so much online. I did a meditation 3-day course online over the weekend when normally that's an in-person thing as well. Yeah. So I just think we're so lucky. If this happened 15 years ago, we couldn't have done this.
No.
We're on there having a chat right now with people watching it live. We couldn't have been doing what we're doing now. I couldn't have been teaching yoga via Zoom. I just think, wow, if this happened 10 years ago, it wasn't around.
We're so fortunate in this misfortune.
And the world's an opportunity. Like, we've all got an iPhone where straight away you can start building money on, like, making a job up on that. I don't know, start posting, start doing Instagram. There's so many opportunities. We just have to sometimes open our eyes, get that wider perspective, and what can we do differently? How can we show up in a different way than what we've been doing?
Well, the thing is, there's no excuse now, is there? There's no excuse, because before the time that the excuse was I'm too busy.
Exactly.
I don't have enough time.
Yeah, and right now we all do have a bit more time, and I think it's really great for a lot of people. Like, and I'm getting the same as you. I get phone calls all the time. People are like, oh, Carla, how you going? It's really hard. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually really good. I'm enjoying the time.
Yeah.
I've never felt so, I couldn't say never, but I just said to my mum earlier today on the phone, I said, I feel so refreshed not having to get up for 6 a.m. yoga every day because our classes are over at 7:30, so I'm getting a bit extra sleep. And I said, I'm really enjoying that.
Did you have that old mindset would have been like, but you have a gym and you've got, you should love what you do. It's just like, you know what? I'm a business person, and yes, we do have all of these things, and that is my intention, and this is why we got into it. But I'm also a fucking human, and I have a business, and sometimes I get exhausted with the rest of the fucking humans.
Yeah, totally. I get exhausted. And like my brother, one of my brothers, he's a publican, so he owns 2 pubs, and he shut his. But he had the first Easter at home with his family that he's ever not had to go to work. So there's so many and he's been stressed out of his mind as well, but. He said that was so wonderful to be able to spend the whole time at home and didn't have to leave at all. And he got to spend that much time with his kids.
And I think that's actually something we've got a couple of guys that were coming up that we're going to interview, and I'm actually going to talk to them about that. Like these high-flying businessmen that quite literally spend all their time in an office and away from their children and live that kind of like that atypical family life. And now it's like some of them are actually almost brought to tears with the beauty of it because I just go, it is actually a gift. We've been given a massive gift.
We have to connect again.
Seesaw. We're actually most of us, the majority of us, for the first time in our history, we're all on an even playing field.
I totally agree. And that's what I said. I said to people, it's so nice that there's so many other people going through it as well. Because I'm not the only one. The coffee shop over across the road is struggling. My brother, one of my other brothers, he's a pilot. He's been let down, so he's not flying. But for the first time in his long journey of flying, he's spending every night at home with his kids as well. Yeah. And he said, for the first time in a long time, he said, I don't feel tired. He said, because he always feels tired flying, you know.
Yeah.
I've actually caught up on like the sleep for the last 10 years.
Man, this is stuff that our kids are going to talk about. It's the same deal, like, and not so much. I mean, my children are actually, we're fortunate. We've got our their grandparents are with them every single day. So homeschooling and everything, like, we're not doing it because they are. And so they're getting to, what a gift that the grandparents get to spend that much time with their grandchildren. And this is shit that you get.
And life goes so quick. Like, literally, we all know that, you know, it's already April and yeah, it just flies by. So if you've got kids, taking that time to not have so much extra time with them where they're not distracted by their friends, and you actually get to be their soul, and you get to think about outside the box and really be that parent to find ways to keep them enthusiastic and doing things together. Like, I think it's like camping in your own house. It's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Literally, we took our kids out early. And my son, for the first time in his 13 years, says, Mum, I want to go back to school. I was like, wait, let's say that again. Can we just get that on? I'm going to play that back for you when we get you back to school.
That's awesome. So, no, and I guess one of my managers said to me, like, when we first shut down, you know, she was really upset and she said, I knew I loved my job, but when it's taken away like this, she said, I will never complain about going to work again.
No. Funny.
And that's like a lot of people are going for, because, you know, a lot of people do wake up and it's just this mindset of, oh, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to work. But then when we don't have a job to go to, it's like, oh, wow, where's my sense of purpose, or what am I doing today? Like, you know, so I think, again, a bit of perspective and gratitude on the fact that so many of us do have a job. And when this passes, and it will pass, we'll all get a job again. Might be tough for a little bit of a time, but that's okay, because tough times make us stronger.
Exactly.
Happy rise with the time.
And that's life. That's life. And the thing is, it's like I was saying before, we're all on an even playing field at this point, and it's so lovely and refreshing. I think that's probably why most of us are feeling so alive right now, I think. Carla, you know what? I mean, we could talk forever on this. Honestly, I feel like I'm having a good old conversation with an old friend, and I really do appreciate, and I'm very, very grateful for you sharing your time today with us, and taking the time out to actually share your story and your journey and be so real with us, because that's what it's all about.
Thank you for having me. It's so fun. I love sharing. That's what I do.
This is it. Well, the messages I got from you today is gratitude. It's being thankful, and it's choices. Like being able to be in control and make your own choice, because happiness is a choice in as much as sadness is a choice. So, and how you feel about a situation in any given moment, it depends entirely on you. So, and I think that's a very powerful message, and you can spread that as far and as wide as you possibly can, and hopefully we're helping you to do that today.
No, thank you so much. And, you know, as the Dalai Lama always says, you know, and he went through a hard time, they can take anything away from you. They can take everything away from you, but the one thing they can't take away is what you think in here. Correct.
Goosebumps again. Keep giving me goosebumps. If anybody wants to rewatch this, they can, and we're going to make sure that, Carla, you're more than welcome to hop into the comments after and just pop your links to anything that you think that could help our obsessors. Again, for everyone that's listening, the key messages here are perspective, gratitude, and kindness, and choice. So, and that is literally what Carla specializes in, as well as all things health and yoga and fitness. But at the moment,
I love life.
And so life. Yeah, and being a good human.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries, sweetheart. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Bye, everyone.